Hi everyone, I'm Josh Flores, your friendly neighborhood director of secondary English language arts here in the Office of Instruction at the Oklahoma State Department of Education. How do teachers learn best? From each other, of course, and that's why today's PD on Your Plan module is so special. We are going to take our cameras into an actual teacher's classroom and record them as they teach live students. Today's teacher that we're going to highlight is an awesome one from Centennial High School, Mr. Chris Culver, and he is going to be teaching his students an annotation strategy to help them better comprehend complex texts. Now, I want to go over a couple key points to look for as you observe his masterful teaching. First, keep in mind that this is all about students' reasoning skills through annotating specific details, such as he'll go over them in the video. Actually, I don't want to give it away, but as they annotate, they're essentially going to connect the dots, and this is where the reasoning happens. Now they're going to connect these dots to make explicit connections to something that they know and recognize. And he'll also go over those details. So once this connection is made, then of course we can enjoy students with increased comprehension over complex texts. And of course you can adjust that as you see fit for your students if there's particular elements that you want them to pay close attention to in any article that you're reading with them. And watch how he makes connections to ideas or concepts that students already have an understanding about, and bringing that together to equal increased comprehension. So without further ado, Mr. Chris Culver.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Caroline Chapman.
Yes.
Can you send us to the main office?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we made that connection between the text and to media. What is the purpose of annotating? Anybody remember? Sophia? Okay, to better understand the text. What else, Java? Okay, you can kind of compare things to other things that are going on, whether it's to yourself, to the world, to media. Christian? To express your thoughts and feelings. Xavier? Okay, identifying elements. When I say identifying elements, what elements am I talking about? Diction. Imagery. Comparisons and details. Okay, those four things are the big things that we look for whenever we are annotating. And how does annotating make you a more effective reader? You are totally able to understand what you are reading. So that's the most important thing that we do when we are annotating. We are going to read what is ISIS, which is the short article that I handed you guys, and we are going to annotate the first two paragraphs as a class. Okay? So you may write on this. This is yours to keep. Make sure your name is on it and the date and the time block. So it says, what is ISIS? Everybody on this article? Yes. We all have it. We're all Gucci, yeah? Yeah. Okay. All right, President Obama pledged this week that the U.S. would be relentless in the wake of beheading of an American journalist by the militants in Syria known as ISIS. The president said that the video of a mass militant killing James Foley, who was kidnapped in Syria nearly 2 years ago, has appalled the world and would not deter America from its escalating military effort to root out terrorists in Iraq. So let's look in the first two paragraphs here for strong words of diction. What are some strong words of diction we can be looking for? Relentless.
Appalled.
Appalled. Pledge. What else?
Who's appalled?
Beheading. What else?
Massacre.
Massacre. Where is that?
Militant.
Hang on.
Massacre innocence. Right there.
Escalating.
Mass, militant.
Escalating.
Wait.
Sorry.
Wait, deter.
Escalating.
Massacre, there it is. Innocent, escalate, where's that?
First. On this part. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Deter. Deter. Got it. Okay, good. So we got some strong words of diction. What are some details in there that we can underline that help us understand what's going on so far in the first two paragraphs?
In the wake of the
What is it? In the wake of the beheading. Okay. What else?
Hold on, wait.
What are the two What are some things that are details in the first two paragraphs that we can underline to help us know what's going on? Journalist, okay, American journalist, good. Syria, that gives us what, Sophia? Location, good Christian, so we know where it's taking place. ISIS, we still don't know what ISIS is yet, but we know it's going to be important because it's in the title. Ransom? Okay, wait, oh yeah, down here. Okay, the U.S., so we know it involves the United States, good. The president, who's the president? Obama, okay. So, we've identified some elements in the first two paragraphs. Let's keep reading. ISIS also tried to kill another captive journalist, Stephen Sadloff, in the U.S. does not change its course in Iraq. No faith teaches people to massacre innocents, Obama said. On Thursday, August 21st, we know this is an old article, right? It came last month. It was revealed that the U.S. Special Forces attempted to rescue Foley and other hostages earlier this summer after the terror group had demanded a $130 million ransom for his release. Okay, so what are some other strong words of diction in the last paragraph?
Reorganized.
What are some images that we can identify here too? Imagery, remember our 5 senses. Summer, rescue, kill, innocence, yes.
Right there by another.
Kill, terrorists, all these different things. So do you see how whenever you break down the paragraphs and you look for those strong words of diction, you look for the details and you look for the imagery, the whole thing changes. Instead of just seeing words on a page, we can identify the tone. So what is the tone of these passages? Okay, the author's informing us, right? That's the author's purpose. What is the tone? Positive, negative.
Or not understand.
It's negative. Diana, why is it negative, do you think?
Because it talks about
It says killing people, beheading, escalating, threatening. Think about what we've read so far. What story or what movie have you seen, or what kind of genre would this article fit under movie-wise? Okay, maybe a documentary, but also a... Like, think about Halloween time. Horror! Holy cow, horror! So has anyone ever seen The Purge?
Yeah.
This is like The Purge, right? But it doesn't stop at 12 hours. This is lifelong. So purge, but for longer than 12 hours. So what connection did we just make? Text to media, good job. So what are some other connections we made so far in annotating the rest of the article? Or a couple other paragraphs. What are some other connections you guys have made? Kai?
Terrorist group is like Hitler trying to take over the country.
Good. The terrorist group is like Hitler back in Germany whenever they had the concentration camps and stuff, trying to take over the country. And trying to take over more than just their country, right? Trying to take over a large part of the world. Christian, what other connections did you make? Okay, they're trying to invade other countries, maybe send messages by putting flags and information out in front of historical monuments. Okay, what else? Anybody else make any other connections? How do you feel whenever you think about text to self? Maybe you're not going to connect anything else, but a connection between the text and your life or your things. What are some things that you can connect to with this text? Scared, that's a connection for sure. Horror. Worry, those are some feeling words, right? Java, what'd you say?
I said they act like wild animals that don't get enough.
Okay, we're comparing them to wild animals because their attacks are so crazy. We don't know what's going on, right? We have no idea when it's going to happen, and their attacks are extremely inhumane. I mean, how can you imagine being videotaped, being beheaded? It's kind of crazy. Exactly, hex no. What? It's disrespectful. What else? Anything else?
Unnatural.
It's unnatural, okay? Horrifying. It's just like The Purge, like I was saying. The Purge was 12 hours, but this is a long time issue. So all the images, all the details, all the diction, and all the comparisons, and the connections, how does that open your eyes to understand what's going on in the article? If you had just read it, would you have understood the same way that you do now? Why not?
Because I wouldn't understand what this has to do with what's going on here.
Right.
Because you're making it add up together to understand it more better.
So you're taking this issue that's going on and connecting to other things, and you wouldn't have understood what's going on or maybe the severity of it or even what some of the words meant if you didn't look at the details, right? So we're looking at that diction. And then the imagery kind of does what to you? What can you do with imagery? You can visualize what's going on in the story. So you can visualize all the stuff this poor man is having to deal with and all the things these other people are having to deal with. Okay, I know some of you are still working on the last couple paragraphs, so finish those up. We have about 7 minutes left, so you should be able to finish. Yeah, I believe in you. I believe in miracles.
What were you guys learning about today?
Annotating. Annotating is easy.
Why is it easy?
Annotating helps us better understand what we're learning, so we can make a connection to the real world, to media, text to text.
Yeah, because at first I wasn't getting it stuff, and then we started annotating. It's kind of easy to do it now.
What about making connections?
Making connection, you can have a better understanding of that particular area of that text.
Yeah.
So you can make your own comment and see what you know, see what you don't know.
So how is this English class helping you think?
Well, it's teaching us what we're expected to do, and it kind of makes it easier for us. So we know what's going to be ahead, and it's teaching us what we can do so we be prepared.
Anything else you want to add? No. Okay, good.
Mr. Culver is a great teacher.
Because
He helps take his time to break stuff down and teach us better ways.
Other teachers just give us assignments and to just set page, or let's just set the page and then just
But he
set the
takes
desk.
time to help.